Janel Grant seeks medical records. WWE parodies her. Lawyers for Janel Grant filed a pre-action discovery petition today against Dr. Carlon Colker and his clinic, Peak Wellness Inc. Grant, who is a former WWE employee, says that beginning around November 2019, she was sent at the direction of Vince McMahon to Colker's clinic in Greenwich, where she received treatments that weren't disclosed to her, including pills and IV infusions. Grant says when she asked Colker about the substance of the pills, she was being given, Colker allegedly pushed back and questioned whether Grant trusted him. Grant's attorney wrote this: on multiple visits, Dr. Colker prescribed Ms. Grant with adrenal trays or adrenal supplement trays provided by his office and instructed her to take an unmarked pill, several of them daily. Dr. Colker did not explain the substances, dosages, or purpose of the pills to Ms. Grant beyond purportedly addressing her symptoms of fatigue. When Ms. Grant asked Dr. Colker about the substance of the supplement trays and specifically which substances caused her to experience nausea, he responded with pushback about trust, including, "If you don't trust me, we have bigger problems." Well, I would have said, let's go with bigger problems.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this program called Indisputable, we just need 1% of the viewers to become a paid member so we can continue to bring this content to you. Now back to the show.
Brandon Thurston and John Pollock at WrestleNomics with the details. According to Grant's petition, Colker routinely treats employees and talent of World Wrestling Entertainment. Grant is seeking medical records related to the sex trafficking lawsuit she filed earlier this year against Vince McMahon, WWE, and John Laurinaitis. Paper records the clinic has provided up to this point are incomplete and inaccurate, Grant's attorneys say. For example, the petition states there are billing records that do not have a corresponding medical record, medical records that do not have a corresponding billing record, inconsistent billing rates, and double charges. Grant alleges that Peak Wellness employee was involved in several instances of sexual abuse against Ms. Grant by McMahon, as further described in Ms. Grant's federal complaint. Spokesperson for McMahon took issue with Grant taking legal action on Colker while the federal lawsuit is on hold. Ms. Grant's petition for pre-action discovery against Dr. Colker is a direct violation of the court-ordered stay and nothing more than an attempt to generate publicity of her false allegations and to harass people connected to Mr. McMahon, who is being sued by Ms. Grant in a separate matter. Spokesperson for McMahon said Tuesday afternoon in response to requests for comment for this report. The facts are Ms. Grant told Mr. McMahon she was fatigued and asked him to recommend a doctor, the spokesperson said. Ms. Grant called Dr. Colker and became a patient of his. Her statement in the filing is inconsistent with her prior remarks. Ms. Grant never had anything but good things to say about the doctor when speaking to Mr. McMahon and others about him. Grant's attorney, Ann Kellis, responded as well this afternoon, saying, "We did not violate a federal stay by filing a state action against a non-defendant." Period. Meanwhile, fans have been speculating that an on-air storyline involving women's champion Liv Morgan is a parody of Vince McMahon's claims against Grant. When Triple H was asked questions by a reporter about his knowledge of his father-in-law's legal issues, he claimed he'd never read the lawsuit. You know that's not true, salacious as it was. McMahon has tried to defend himself publicly by painting Grant as a scorned former lover and willing participant. In reaction to Liv Morgan saying the lines, "I hope you like the gifts I sent, but I hope you like the texts I sent you even more," one fan pointed out in regards to the sexting evidence revealed in the suit. Either Hunter knows that they're mocking the Grant lawsuit or he's too dumb to realize they're doing it. Well, what do you think? Earlier in that episode, Morgan sent a fellow wrestler a text that got a surprising reaction from his stablemates. This has been compared to the allegations in the lawsuit that Vince McMahon would share pictures of Grant with those who worked within WWE. I mean, you could see the similarities here. Let's see. WWE has a long history of using its weekly television shows to make light of real-life situations. That history has some wondering if the booking of Liv Morgan is a coincidence or a calculated decision. If the thoughts around the latter are true, then those who question the seriousness of this company in the face of the accusations posed by Janel Grant have a strong base to stand upon. Daily DDT with that. What do you make of all of this, Jackson? I
Well,
think it could possibly be little digs here that could lead to I entertained emotional abuse. Another claim if I were the judge, but I'm not.
I think it's indicative of the culture that Vince McMahon created. I mean, he just seems to be a guy who, built an empire around him and thought that he would, be untouchable forever. It's a very old story. People all throughout the history of civilization have made that fatal error thinking that they can't be touched just because right now they have a lot of power and a lot of influence. But it only takes so much for the dam to break, and once it breaks, it's a wrap. Once it really breaks, it's over. Because one of the things about being a powerful person is, people often are only dealing with you because you're a powerful person. And as soon as that, those opportunities disappear, well, they're gonna follow them elsewhere. And people tend to forget that all these people around you, sure, a lot of them may genuinely like you, but Vince McMahon doesn't seem to be somebody that people like very much.
No.
So it's just the bed that he made for himself, and that this is his legacy now.
You had me to use the bed analogy. In this case, I prefer something different.
I could have said something else.
You could have.
What's another one? Well, it is what it is. He did this to himself. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, he did it to himself. It reminded me, though, as you were talking about this, of P. Diddy.
Yeah, exactly.
I suspect neither one of them was invited to that white party, okay, by the billionaire. I didn't see any pictures of P. Diddy there. Okay, you're not invited anymore. You're suddenly not in vogue. People were around you because you were a powerful, rich influencer. But Vince McMahon may still be pushing the storylines here, and that's interesting, and that is perhaps key. Because if he's doing that, I'm not a lawyer, but I love to pretend to be one, just a little bit. I give the disclaimer ahead of time. I would think these storylines might be introduced in any lawsuit. It's just stated, it's not thrown out. We'll keep following it. We'll keep following all of it.